Hey everyone, welcome back to my Business by Design Summit. And today from California, I have Owen Summit. I'm Owen Summit. Owen Summit. Owen.
That was good, even
Hemsath.
after practicing the last name.
Owen Hemsath. I'm stuck on California that I just kind of want to be there with you right now. We were just talking about it. He is the president of Video Spot, and he's got so much to share with you today. In fact, this whole video, YouTube stuff, if you're even slightly interested in doing this in your business, he's the person you need to talk to. And I'm so excited to have him today. So thank you for being with us, Owen, even though I killed your last name and practiced it prior.
I know, that's
It's great
great.
to have you.
Hey, thank you. It's good to be here, and I love working with you. We've done a couple of different things together, and we always have a good time. So I'm happy to be here.
Absolutely. He's got such great energy too. So I can't wait to share him with all of you. So let's just dive right in. Owen, you have done jobs, you've done your own business. Kind of tell me that journey. It led you to, Video Spot, this amazing business you've created.
Yeah, thank you. I am an entrepreneur because I am unemployable. I have had multiple jobs in multiple different industries, and I have been fired from easily 95% of them. As a matter of fact, I can think of very few jobs that I've actually quit, resigned, whatever the term is. I've always been an innovator, but I've never considered myself really entrepreneurial. I grew up in California, same as everybody else. I had from a working class family. My dad was a UPS man. My mom was a stay-at-home slouch who did nothing for our family except for spent money. And so my dad worked his tail off, and my mom just spent all of the money on stuff, on things. And it's not like at daycare, for us, like, hey, somebody come watch my kids so I can go to the mall. And so I never got a good sense of what money is. I was never good with money and handling money and making money. We were taught to, same as everybody else, go get a job, work for money, get secure, 40 years. My grandpa worked for JCPenney for 40 years, and he was the patriarch of the family, like that's who we all looked up to. And so I just assumed that was just what you were supposed to do. Well, job after job after job after job after job, I would innovate. I remember working at at P.F. Chang's. I was I ran the food out, and I redid all the side work because I was like, this side work doesn't make any sense. You got the first guy leaving and cleaning up the things that we need till the very end. Let's move. So I innovated that and made enemies everywhere. The guys there were like, who are you to rewrite our side work? Eventually I moved on to another fancier restaurant called the Clubhouse in Costa Mesa. Some of your listeners might remember that restaurant if they're out there. First thing I did was, like, your coffee needs to have thermometers in it. Like, you can't serve coffee that's too cold or too hot. So the boss was like, "Oh, great idea." He brings in a thermometer and says, "From now on, you guys all have to be measuring your coffee at 160 degrees." Well, it made no friends that way. Was kind of a loner there for a while until eventually, funny quick story is this lady made fun of me, or she was like just a bad customer, and the table next to me was having Sunday brunch with champagne, and I was serving them too. So I was serving this awesome table and this wicked table, and they said, "Hey, that lady next to you is a real pill, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "She's a huge handful of trouble." So I was fired that afternoon. She complained, and they fired me. So, after this journey, you fast forward to I got into media and marketing and stuff like this. Fast forward, now I'm in my 30s, and I got offered a job doing a desk job somewhere for $20 an hour. My wife and I were like, "Wow, $20 an hour, and I can do some video on the side." 6 weeks at that job. I had a 6-month, it was a temporary job for 6 months. I was fired 6 weeks into it. And by a friend, as a matter of fact. I mean, my friend hired me, my friend let me go. She goes, Owen, we just feel like you're performing when you're on the phone with these people instead of actually pushing them forward. So I remember walking out with my plant I had my plant in one hand, all my paperwork in the other, and I'm walking out proudly. Security is escorting me out. I said, "Hey, can we walk out the back way?" They're like, "Nope, it's policy. You got to walk out. You got to walk by every cubicle, and they have to see that we take, firing very seriously, whatever." And I thought, I went home and I said, there has to be another way. And I talked to my wife and I said, I cannot keep a job. People don't like me. I don't do well as an employee. It's time to jump into entrepreneurialism with 2 feet. And, you know, it's kind of like it's time to jump off the cliff and build a parachute on the way down. And from our very first month, we have been profitable. And I've never turned back. That was 3 years ago, and I've never needed a job since. In fact, we just hit our biggest month ever at Video Spot. So it's been awesome.
I love this. Now, you know, when people hear the word entrepreneur, in fact, I just blogged about this and it'll be published in the Elephant Journal about people's perception when they hear the word entrepreneur. I did like a quick post on Facebook, like one word to describe that comes to your mind when you think of entrepreneur. One of them was can't get a job or jobless.
Unemployable, that's what I said.
That sounds so much better. I mean, I look at myself, I quit. You know, I quit a job. It was time to leave. But, you know, I think you outgrow things and the universe kind of pushes you into the next stage.
Yeah.
But I'm with you. I was never, ever happy. I was always looking, you know, coloring outside of the lines.
Yeah.
And
doing your own thing.
Yeah.
Doing your own thing. And, you know, the boss is like, you know, hey, look, this is my thing. And then managers are kind of like, you know, you remember Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves? You remember that movie? Yes. So the knights, right? Like the nobles, they can do kind of whatever they want as long as they protect the king. And that's who managers are. Managers can kind of do whatever they want as long as they protect the interests of the owner or of their higher up. And so you're constantly battling these guys. They're not innovators. They follow orders. And when we're thinking, hey, we could make the system better or at least better for me, you immediately go on a list somewhere as someone to watch out and be careful for, and then fire at your first opportunity. So, you know, it's funny, you look at, and I don't want to go off too far on this, but you look at the cultural milieu around employment. You have to give your boss 2 weeks, but they can fire you on the spot with no pay, no severance, nothing.
Right.
Look at salary. Salary means that they can pay you a fixed wage and work you to death. And if you have anything to say about it, you'll be fired on the spot. No 2 weeks. So think about, as entrepreneurs or as a blooming entrepreneur, somebody who's thinking about going off on your own, remember that the business world does not care about you. Your manager does not care about you. Your boss does not care about you. At the end of the day, they are taking care of their bottom line. And if that doesn't make sense to you, then you're probably better off as an entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
Some people it makes perfect sense to. Some people are like, no, I get that. I'm down. I'm down to do 40 years. That's cool. I'm not here to convert that person.
Right. You're just a number. You're just a body. You're just a piece of the structure to the building. Yeah, you're replaceable. I think and I thank God in the universe that this happened to me because it landed me where I am today. I sat next to my boss once during an amazing business meeting that I created with the perfect person for him to connect with. And they were discussing employees with me sitting there as his publicist. And he said, never ever gift an employee. Their gift is they get to keep their job. And it was just like one of those feelings like, oh, that heavy awakening. And from that moment on, something just switched in my head. Like, I'm going to do all that shit that I just created for you. I'm going to do that for Carrie. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm done with this. I'm good.
That's the belief system too. Like that's what you have to realize. If you're a good employee, because I know that there's people listening right now that are like, well, I have a good thing at my gig. I'll do my gig and build my business on the side. And you will fail at that. Like your business will never be a top priority if you treat it like a second priority, right? So freelancers, I hear all the time with freelancers is I'll go full time once my freelance business is so big. Your freelance business will never get big enough to steal you away from your job. You have to take that plunge. But if you're good at your job, you'll be good at a business for the most part. You know what I mean? You just have to convert those skill sets over and work for yourself as if you are your own boss. Part of what drives me is that I wouldn't have considered myself an entrepreneur. I didn't even know the definition of the term really until I became an entrepreneur. And you start to kind of go through this, oh my gosh, this is what I am, this discovery process. I actually related a lot to coming out, right? where it's like I came out as an entrepreneur, and it's like I'm dancing. It's like I just discovered I'm an entrepreneur, you know. And you have to kind of figure it out. And for me, I was already married, so I knew that I had to provide an income for my family. My wife's got a great job, don't get me wrong, and my wife is not an entrepreneur. My wife is better at working a job. She's better in that environment. So and she does some stuff on the side. She does some freelance on the side, but we understand that there are people that are better off in a job, and those people are not any better or worse than you, the entrepreneur. They're different. And you know what? If your business is going to be successful, you're going to need 10 or 15 of those guys anyway, and you have to know how to communicate with them. I read a great article the other day. I'm trying to remember who posted it. I think Eric Mitchell posted it. He's a friend of mine. And it was about corporate attitudes that won't work with millennials. And if you're an entrepreneur today, you'll be hiring millennials. Whether they're 20 now or they're 30, you'll hire them in 10 years. They're 30. They're still a millennial. That millennial generation. You can't say to a millennial, your job is your reward is you get to keep your job, or your reward is your paycheck. That's not going to fly, and they're going to leave and go somewhere else. You have to know how to talk to your potential employees or your employees in a way that encourages, motivates, and inspires them, so they continue to wake up every day saying, I want to do a great job for Carrie today. And so these people that aren't entrepreneurs, a lot of entrepreneurs make the mistake of making fun of those people, or thinking that, hey, I'm the 97%, or I'm the 3%, I'm better than all of you. No, far from it. No entrepreneur is entirely successful without great staff, great employees to build them up. So you need to learn strong leadership skills, and there are people like John C. Maxwell, Michael Hyatt, that have curriculum around leadership that you really should be paying attention to.
I love it. I'm glad you pointed that out, because some people think, I'll never be this. They almost put entrepreneurship up here as if it's the ultimate promotion you can give yourself in life. And some people just don't have the skill set. Some people need to be told what to do every day. It's okay. I'm all about personality types and where people belong.
Yeah.
And that's okay. You'll be hiring them in the future, so it's all good.
And as entrepreneurs, take skill sets. You have like this initial passion. A great book to read is The E-Myth by Michael Gerber, I think. It's an older book, and they have revisited and revamped, but get the original, right? And he talks about, look, as an entrepreneur, you're good at baking pies, so you go into pie business, but you have no idea about the business of pies, right? That's like probably most people listening to the call right now is like you're good at your skill set, but then there's this whole new skill set you have to learn and develop. I was very late in the game on this. I'm great at video. I'm great at marketing. I've done marketing for companies. Even when I wasn't in the marketing department, they would still call me in as a creative to help explore ideas. But then it's like the business of being a marketing company is I really had to learn, and I continue to learn about it. Michael Gerber's book goes into the skill sets you need to learn, what those skill sets include, and he does so in a very narrative sort of story time way. So it's a great book to read on how to be a business person, right, in business. So it goes beyond like wanting to be an entrepreneur. That's a wantrepreneur, right, as Mark Cuban would say. But then being an entrepreneur is you're actually successful in building a company, not just a revenue stream. So you have to learn those skill sets.
Right. I love that book. I just read it again. I have the original one.
That's a great one.
The entrepreneur, the manager, and the technician, and a lot of us go in just being the technician. Yeah, we wear that hat the whole time, and we're like, where's my manager to tell me what to do?
Most of us are technicians, right? We're good at what we do. Now, here's the thing, is that if you're an entrepreneur and you're like, well, I don't know about not having a boss or whatever, hire a business coach. Because I've hired multiple business coaches, and I've fired multiple business coaches. If you're going to be this business coach that takes my money but doesn't do the accountability, it's kind of like, well, you show up, and if you don't show up, and hey, it's not my job to da-da-da-da-da. I get that. I'm going to fire you, and I did. That was my first business coach. I love him to death. He may even see this, but he did not give me the accountability I need. He was just like, well, you missed out. We had a great call, I hired another business coach who you and I both know, and she whipped me into shape. And so if you really need a boss, hire a business coach that teaches you a lot of these skills.
Absolutely. Yeah. The mentorship's huge. Why try to figure it out on your own when you can have someone show you the way. But the accountability is huge.
And seek out mentors. Like I asked people to mentor me. I asked frickin' Michael Stelzner, who's the CEO of Social Media Examiner. I met him. I continued a relationship with him. We have a lot in common. We go to similar churches. And I said, Michael, I'm coming out of the blue with this. Say whatever you feel. Will you mentor me? And he said no. And you know, he's mentoring a guy named John Lee Dumas right now, who's making multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars per month. And so you kind of like, when you step back and you're like, oh, that's the kind of people he mentors, it's like, at first I was angry, and I was like, you know, that sucks. Like, you're not going to help the little guy out. But then I thought, you know, I'm nowhere near mature enough to handle what this guy could tell me. And I became very grateful. We're still good friends. As a matter, I was just talking to him last week. But you have to be, and I have a great mentor now. My mentor now is a guy who excels at YouTube. He works for Fortune 500 companies that hire him on a temporary basis because they can't afford him full time. And beyond my business coach, he and I talk, and I just ask him, like, dude, how do you do this? How do you do that? And he teaches me. And there's we don't have a signed agreement, but there's an agreement there that what happens between us stays with us. And he's constantly like, you know, this stays between us, right? And I said, Jeremy, why would I tell anybody that I'm learning this from you? You know, I said, you know, I want people to think that I'm coming up with this on my own. So seeking out mentors is huge. Identify mentors, build relationships, and ask them, will you mentor me? And if they say no, you know, stay friends. Don't take it personally. Find someone else. And I think, you know, that on my I talk about God a lot. Like, you know, God will lead you to that person. You know what I mean? Maybe some of you feel better saying the universe. I'm not that guy, but if you feel better saying that, you know, who am I to argue with you? If you keep walking the path, you will find where you need to go, but you have to keep walking. Most people quit.
I love that. Well, you're going right to the top of the ladder. God created the universe. You might as well just start asking the right person. Go to the top in command. That's my opinion.
That's what the manager for.
That's right. Let me go to the top of the ladder. God, you created the universe, and the universe is going to show me what to do today.
And there are laws in the universe, too, and I talk about this as a Christian. There's laws in the universe. If you throw a rock, it's going to fall, right? If you continue to persevere, you will break through, right? There are certain laws of the universe, and I talked to my wife about this, and it's like, look, if we fail by 50%, we've succeeded by 50. We hit 50% of our goal. That's why we set audacious goals, right? We set goals. That's a huge part of being an entrepreneur, is like, I'm going to make this much money this month, right? And really it should be, I'm going to make this much money the second quarter, right? So I'm going to make 100 grand next year. And then you start, 100 grand is what, like 8,000 a month? I don't even know. Like it's 10,000 a month, something like this. So then how do you make that? How many sales do you need to make that money, right? And of your top selling products, right? A big problem that a lot of entrepreneurs have is too many SKUs, right? Too many UPC codes. You're selling too many products, right? Like I was just doing this with myself the other day for my own goals, and I was thinking, you know, I'm doing all this video production, but like 90% of my income comes from my YouTube courses. So why am I still focusing on video production? Like, I should be putting all my eggs in that course basket. And as the video production business comes, take it where I can, you know, be in a place where it's, one of my goals is to, it's in the other room, is to replace myself at VideoSpot, right? So be in a place where my videographer can handle all of that, and he's paid for it. I get an override, and I focus on the courses. So focus on where your top selling products are, and build out your goal set from there. If you don't have goals, and I'm talking like 5 goals. Like, I'm not talking like, you know, like this massive to-do list of goals, right? Like 5 goals. A finance goal, maybe like a list goal, how big your list should be, like a social media goal, how big your social media following should be on one channel, and maybe like a personal development goal, how many books you're going to read, and then maybe like a physical goal, like how much you're going to, like how far you're going to run, or how fast you're going to run, or how much you're going to lift. 5 goals, and that's your year. You know what I mean? Don't do the whole thing where I'm going to do this, 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 because you're not going to do any of it. You're going to get overwhelmed, you can't create strategies, and you're going to fail. then you're going to quit, and you're going to get a job, and you're going to hate your life. So set a goal. Don't hate your life, set a goal.
I love it. I don't want to get a job. That sounds like hell.
Yeah, that's miserable.
That's like the worst thing you can tell us. That's like the best threat if you're not like shaping yourself up in your business.
You'll get a job someday. I tell them that. I tell them, look, I'm not like a big like advocate of the public school system or whatever, like teaching people to be employees, but I want my kids to excel in whatever they're in, and we're like on charter school waiting lists and things like this. Not that charter, I'll skip that, but the idea is this: I want my kids to excel in whatever they're in. So I tell them, look, you've got to do well in school, and then you've got to do well with the work I have for you at home. Otherwise, you'll end up working for someone in your classroom. And I took my kid, my son is 8 years old, he's in second grade at the time, and we were on the playground. I said, look at all these kids. I said, all of these kids here are going to work for you someday. So you have to learn how to be a good boss, how to provide for their needs, and how to serve them, you know? And at 8 years old, it's just passing, but, you know, it's kind of like you do this every day to groom your children so that they look at their fellow classmates as people that they need to serve, and that they need to develop leadership skills to lead these kids one day into battle, you know? And there are probably some people out there that hate that I do that, but that is how wealthy people raise their kids. I am not like what I would call wealthy, but I look at what wealthy people do, and I seek to emulate that to give my kids what my parents didn't give me, which is a shot at being self-sufficient.
I love that. I love it. My daughter's away for the summer in Michigan, and she's 11. And my father, I talked to him the other day. They had gone fishing together, and he's like, "You could scale back a little bit on the assertiveness. She's definitely got leadership skills."
That's funny.
Scale back a little bit. She's really
too
assertive.
much of a leader.
Yeah, she's already got a plan B when plan A doesn't work. She's already figured it out. You know, has solutions. I'm like, Dad, that's what I encourage you to be as an only child.
Your dad's a pastor, correct?
Yeah.
So your dad's got leadership skills, but not the same as an entrepreneur. You know what I mean? And lot of respect, a lot of love for pastors out there. It's a tough gig, getting involved in everyone's personal life and then running a church. There's definitely some entrepreneurial aspects to it, but your dad doesn't get it necessarily. Like he doesn't get what you're trying to do. And that goes back to the business owner versus the employee mindset. Like there's different ways in which we view the world, and you say, hey, Dad, awesome, thank you for your approach, appreciate your opinion.
Like, she's an only child. To have an assertive only child is huge. You know, that they don't usually have the leadership because they don't have younger siblings to boss around like I did.
Yeah.
That makes a difference. But no, I was like, high five.
I have 4 kids, so I teach like all my kids how to stand up for themselves. In fact, we were at the park the other day, and some other kids came around. They were not sharing. It was like we were at the park. The park staff gave us a beach ball, so it was nobody's beach ball. It belonged to the park. And these girls came. My boys were playing with it quite nicely. These girls came, and they decided they didn't want to share it anymore. Not even with each other. It just started this fight. And they come to me and they said, "Dad, these girls won't share. They're 4 years old and 2 years old, 4 years old and 3 years old." And I said, "Go solve your own problem. Like this, I don't want to be involved with your beach ball problem." So my kids went out there, and God bless them, like came up with a game that it wasn't like they stole the ball back, and I worry about that. I worry about like that schoolyard aggression, but my kids are smarter than that, at least right now, at least at this moment they were. And they went out there and they were like, hey, what if we did this game? And opened up to the sharing. And then the other dad came in, he overheard my kids, and I think he was a little embarrassed that his kids were being bratty, and was like, "Girls, I want you to play this game with them." And the problem was solved. And what I did there was I created a self-sufficient kid, and not a kid that's like, "Mommy, will you do this?" and "Mommy, will you do that?" Because guess what? If your kids are doing that at 4, they're going to do it at 17, and they're going to do it at 30, and you've got a failure to launch thing on your hands. So I've seen it a million times. I've seen it in my own family. You've got to be teaching your kids to be self-sufficient, and then taking what you learn there and applying it to your business so that your staff, your employees, your contractors, your VAs, they're self-sufficient. First thing I did with my VA is I said, "Don't ask me stupid questions. Ask yourself the question. If you don't have the link, where would you get it from? Figure it out." Because if I told her straight up, and she's actually a friend, so I was a little bit rougher with her. I said, "You have got to not bother me with questions. Otherwise, there was no reason for me to hire you, you know? And I'll tell you what, she's lasted longer than any VA. She's done more for me than any VA I've ever hired.
I love it.
So you've got to teach self-sufficiency to the people that you're surrounding yourself with.
Absolutely. You know, it's the enabling or the empowering, you know, kind of place. And it starts with your kids. You don't want to enable them.
You don't want to lose your kid. Everyone will know it but you. You'll think he's so sweet, but it's like everyone's like, that kid's a loser.
That's right. Can't tie his shoes without his mom.
Yeah, exactly. At 45 years old. How's the basement, bro?
Well, you mentioned the failure to launch, so my mind went right to that movie.
Yeah. I didn't even know the expression until I saw the movie. And it's like, oh, that's like this guy, my cousin, my brother, you know.
Gotta love it. It's hilarious. So go a little bit deeper. Tell our audience what you do for business, you know, because they know it's got YouTube and video. And that's it. So describe this beautiful business you've created.
So I teach business owners how to make money on YouTube. Now, there are a handful, if not more, of YouTube experts who teach, you know, YouTube, you know, tips and tricks and like how to become the next big YouTube star. That is not what we do. We teach how to take your business, your products, your services, and create a monetization strategy with video, so that you set a goal that you're going to make, you know, $3,000 next month with these videos, and then we create a video strategy to accomplish that. And it goes way far beyond like what kind of video are you going to produce. That's the first thing we do. But there's also a distribution strategy. Where are you going to share the videos? How are you going to get other people to share the videos? How are you going to use those videos? I think a big myth in the industry is that I'm going to make a video and people are going to find it. That's like a very small percentage. Like mostly you're going to make a video and then you're going to put it right in front of the people that need to see it. And you're going to do that through private messages, instant messages, and how to do that in a way that's not spammy, you know? We try to help business owners get on their own 2 feet with video. So my goal is that you're a client with me for a year, maybe 2 years. And after that, we become friends and peers and colleagues, and I got you on your feet and you're making your own money so that I can go work with the next up-and-coming business owner. That's essentially what we do. So it's very much YouTube-based. I have a handful, like 4 clients, and I won't take more than 5, of what I call personal clients. And personal clients are people that pay me an obscene amount of money to be their full-on marketing director for their company. And mostly those are personal brands, but I do have 2 corporations that I work with where I don't do them, but I plan the strategy for their videos, their Facebook, their blogging, their website. I do all of that, and then I hire it out, you know, and get it done. So that's what I do in a nutshell. And our biggest and best-selling product is our YouTube marketing course, where business owners large and small can join us on a monthly membership for live calls. And it's a very structured course. Like, here's how you start your YouTube plan. Whether you have 100 videos on your channel and 1,000 subscribers, or you haven't even started. One of my clients just recently, 0 channel, 0 videos. Within her first, I would say 60 days, because she kind of dragged her feet the first 30 days. First 60 days, we finally launched the channel. 800 new subscribers overnight. Thousands of views on 5 videos. So, you know, what we do works.
I love it. I love it. I got involved in video and online digital media back in 2009. I started an online digital media company here in Vegas with a partner. And gosh, what a difference in like 6-7 years it makes. It's everything. It's like back then we were like looking at our Blackberries going, we will be watching video with our phones at some point. I know.
That's funny.
And I'm sitting in bed watching Netflix on my iPad, and I'm thinking, good Lord, you know, this is your normal now. But, you know, 5 years ago,
be very innovative.
Amazing. Yeah. Very different, and video is so important. And we were trying to really preach it then, and people were like, I don't see what you're talking about. You will.
Too. That's how I started. I was in college 5 years ago. I went back to college when I was 30, and I went back to college to get a better job. It's funny how that all works. Yes. And when I got there, I realized that I hated the idea of, I loved going to college and just like not having to do work, you know, and making videos every day. What if I could do this for a living? So I took this school's cameras. You're not supposed to do this, but I took their cameras and would knock on doors, and I'd say, hey, I'll make you like a 30-second commercial for your business. And this was about 5 years ago. This is about that same time. And so, you know, business owners are thinking, oh, that's okay, cool. Yeah, I like that, you know. And I was able to earn a good living doing that and promoting videos. So I've been a video advocate from the very beginning. Now it's not something that you can afford not to do per se, right? Like that would be like saying, oh, I don't know if I want to have you know, be on Facebook. Unfortunately, that's not really like an option that you have in the business community today. Like maybe Facebook isn't where you want to build your primary audience. Maybe it's Instagram. Maybe you're a photographer, but you still have to have a Facebook presence because people are going to go to Facebook to look for you. So, you know, video is one of those things. People are going to say, I wonder if they have a video. You know, I wonder if they've got multiple videos, and people now are being conditioned with YouTube. So it's no longer about your video. Somebody calls me and says, I have one video. I got a lead just like this the other day. Owen, I've got one video I want to do. I said, great, it's $3,000. You know, well, how much is 5 videos? I said, $3,000. Like, you don't understand, bro. Like, I'm bringing you into, that's a minimum order with us. Like, we're not gonna do one video for you. And if you are, you're gonna pay top dollar for it. So it's not about one video. It's about having a strategic content strategy in place for video. We call it pull, push, and pow, right? Those are the 3 different types of content you want to focus on. Your pull content is content that pulls a viewer in from a Google or from a YouTube web search, right? So they type in something like how to do a French braid, if you're a hairstylist, right? Or how to do an updo, how to do cornrows, right? Whatever. And they find your video on these topics. So you go out and you write 100, 200, 300 keywords that you think people might be searching for and cross-reference those on Google to make sure that there's at least, you know, a couple hundred searches a month so that you have a chance to get up there. Your push content, that's where you set the agenda and you push content to the people who subscribe to you from the pull content. So your pull content is how you build an audience. Once you've got an audience of 1,000 or more, you start pushing them content and you start showing them what you know how to do, right? So this video summit is a good example of push content, right? You're setting the agenda of what we're going to talk about. So if you're a hairstylist, right, now you might be talking about like the top 3 healthy shampoos or the top 3 ways to grow your hair, right? There might be some keyword relationship there, and you always want to be optimizing for the best keywords, but you're not letting the keywords dictate the content. You're writing content based on what you want to talk about and showing your expertise. Largely, you should be answering your audience's questions. Then you've got your POW content. Your POW content is what really hits them. You know, that's what, like, your big budget videos, maybe 3, 4 a year, that talk about Susie's hair design studio, and you pay a videographer to come in and you make something a little bit bigger. Animated videos are a great POW content, right? Product tours, promotional videos, that sort of thing. So using those 3 strategies, you should be able to develop a content matrix that brings in new audience members and converts your existing audience members to sale, which is what you want.
I love that. Pull, push, pow.
Yeah.
Easy enough to remember. I love it. So you work with people. I know you know, obviously because you're in California. So locally, in order to come as a video crew, that's your ideal client. It's going to be the people in the area, probably, correct?
No. The video production side of what we do is very small. Okay? It is a you know, income-wise, it's 10%, 15% of what we do. The biggest chunk of what we do is we work with business owners on our YouTube marketing course. You can be anywhere in the world. We have clients in Colombia, Nairobi, Canada, New Zealand, the UK. So we have a global audience of clients. And we do a call. You know, like, we're launching a new call by the time this airs, in probably like a month or so from when this airs. So we bring in a new group and we walk them through the system, and then we bring in a new group and we walk them through the system. It's a 10-month course. Video production, where someone hires us to make their videos, is yeah, it's like half of it is local, but the other half of it, like your audience might know Subi Zimmerman, who's the Instagram expert. She's flying us out to Cape Cod to do some video for her. So we do a lot of travel, but we like to think of ourselves as like the local bakery. It's probably not going to be able to afford what we do. The local MLM guy, like, probably not going to be able to afford what we do. You're better off. That person's better off like getting into our course and learning how to do it on their own until they're making $1,000 a month on YouTube, and they can start to hire some of that out. And we actually teach you how to hire it out. We teach you how to use Elance. We teach you how to use Fiverr, because these are great resources. But if you don't use them properly, you're gonna hire a douche or a bad guy.
Same word. It's all good.
Yeah.
Very cool. So there is a course for people, because that was kind of part of my question too, is what is your suggestion for those? And I work with clients, obviously, where they are public figures. 90% of my clients are public figures, or they want to be. So you kind of need to get yourself out there, and the fear around video is one of the biggest things I overcome. Any suggestions that you have for that brand new newbie that's like, webcam turn on?
Your videos are gonna suck. Get over it. And make them, because like think of like the first craft you ever did as a kid. Think about those drawings that your kids come home with. You used to come home with the same drawings, but now your drawings are much better because you developed a muscle for it, you kept doing it, you enjoyed it, and you kept going. If writing is a better example, then use writing as a better example. If riding a bike is a better example, then use that example, right? You were horrible the first time. Your first couple of vids will be atrocious, and nobody will like them. Now that we've accepted that, continue to make videos, right? And I never support deleting videos, because for example, like my third blog that I ever wrote, at the time I thought it was really good. Looking back, it's like, what a horrible blog. But I have like a content strategy where I go back and I revamp my older stuff. 3 months. That was 3 months ago, and I got a retweet and a favorite on it today or yesterday. So my point is that your old stuff might get new life in a couple of years. So don't ever delete it. Just put it up there and learn from it. Learn from your mistakes, right? Like, if looking into the camera terrifies you, find a new way to do videos. Put the camera here, but then talk off to the side like a documentary. You know what I mean? That's still effective, and it will get you over your fear, because you'll get bored with that, and you'll want to do something more effective. So it's just do it. Set your camera up, and here's another thing. Don't do one video, okay? Do 5 videos every time. You do 5 videos, and then when you get good at that, start doing 10. My goal when I get into the studio is 10 videos. I don't always hit it, but if I hit 8, that's more than 5. Have a format, and you can go to my blog, thevideospot.net/blog, and I wrote a blog called How to Format Your Business Videos. Have a step-by-step, snappy headline, opening bumper, body copy, ask for engagement, closing bumper. And the details of that are on my blog, and there's a video. But the idea is that you're not like, what do I say next? What do I say next? Right? You have like this format that you need a title or a headline, and then you need to have the body copy, and you just spit the body copy out so that every video has a similar structure. Think of it like a sitcom, right? Imagine the sitcom Friends, and you watch the first episode, and it's so funny, and you love it. And then you watch the second episode, and the theme song is different, the actors are different, they're in a different apartment, they're in a different coffee shop, and there's different characters, and it's like the Cosby Show, and you're like, but it's still called Friends, and you're like, this is nothing like the show I watched last week. The next week, it's entirely different again. You're going to stop watching because you have no idea what to expect. Your audience is no different. You need to create a home for them where your videos look and feel the same way every time, And that'll evolve and grow slowly, but it's gonna be like your first 10 videos all look and feel the same. Your next 10 videos all look and feel the same, and your audience comes to know what to expect from you. You get that by having a format. The second part of that is having a list of titles. So go out and create 50 potential titles, and if you're a plumber, right, your title is not copper piping. That's not a title. That's a keyword. Your title is copper piping better than lead piping? Whatever. That's a title. It's what the title would look like on YouTube. So you write 50 of those out. You go in front of the camera and write. You guys want to see something? Look at this. This is my baby's room. But up until now, you had no idea because I've created an illusion with a curtain, right, that makes it look like I'm in a video marketing office. This is all a facade. Set up your office or your wall in such a way where it looks like it's a professional environment. I do very little work in this room. I work from out there. I work from my studio. I do very little work here. I set it up to do my blogs here. I'm like getting real behind the curtain right here. I know.
I'm still in shock that there's a crib right there.
I know. And like bags of clothing, because everyone thinks that we want their old clothes, and my wife doesn't say no. So that's all like Salvation Army stuff. And I'm not wearing pants. I have not worn pants in 3 weeks. I'm kidding. But I was doing a meerkat the other day, and I wasn't wearing pants. And it's funny, I crossed my legs, and you could see my knee, and I was like, oh, I have just revealed to you that I'm still in my gym shorts. But have an environment that reinforces your brand, right? You see how I've got that? That little guy up there, it's video, and then I have the old sign to my office, my first office, and you don't have to be this complicated, but just put an award and a picture behind you, something so it's not a white background. So now you've got a place to shoot, you've got 50 titles to work with, and you have an outline, and then just go through title 1, and don't stop till it's done. Don't turn off the camera. Turn off the camera when it's done, do video number 2, and get it done. Go grab a glass of water, come back, do it again, and get 5 done. Your first time, it'll take you 2 hours. Beyond that, after that, a 4-minute video blog should take you 6 to 7 minutes, and you can pound through 5 videos in a half an hour, and I have full confidence you can do it because my clients do it all the time. But they didn't start off that way.
Right. I love that advice. Okay, so I killed your last name in the beginning of this video as a perfect example. I'm not real big on details.
Yeah.
Kind of bites me later.
Yeah.
But be that one take wonder. The faster you spit this out, all that matters is, did the content come out properly?
Yeah.
Did I get all points across, the bullet points, whatever it was? Expressions and making mistakes just makes you more real. If you're this little robot, no one relates to that either. So just be you. It's not going to be perfect.
Laugh it off. You make a mistake, laugh it off. I think just in my last video, I did this, right? I was like, let's say you're a vlogger. And then I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, I have no idea what that is. I used both hands, so, but I left it in the video, and I made fun of myself in the video, and it makes the video more real. People want to see authenticity. Here's what Gillette does that I don't particularly think is working for them. I mean, they're Gillette, so they can put a lot of money in their videos, and they got lots of views. But they do this video, how to shave properly. And it's so professionally done. It's POW content. And I'm like, this is a pull video that used the POW content format. And for me, it doesn't work. It's too high produced. What would have been better, I think, is if they were to have hired an actor to just do, hey, my name is Bill. I'm here for Gillette, and I'm going to show you how to get a shave with no stubble coming up, Gillette. Bah. And then it goes back to the video. It's like, hey, today we're going to show you how to shave. Here's step number 1, warm your face. But instead, it was like this slow motion model, and he's like, how to shave. And he's running towards the sink, and he splashes water on his face, and it's like, boom, 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 and the water's like going everywhere. it's too much, man. Like, that's not what I'm looking for in a how to shave video. Like, just hit with the content and move on. So be yourself, be authentic, get through it, and they're gonna suck anyway. So just get your first 5 done. Watch them. Ask your friends for feedback. No, don't ask your friends. Your friends will lie to you. They'll say, oh, that's a great idea. You know, you should apply there. You know, or, oh, really good blog, dude, I liked it. Like, don't ask your friends for crap because they lie to you. Ask people that will actually hurt your feelings. Ask them for advice. Get the advice, take what you will, strip out the rest, do 5 more.
I love that. Great advice. You gotta just jump into the pool is really how it works. Just jump in.
You're gonna swim or you're gonna drown.
Right.
You know what I mean? And if you drown, go back to work.
It's all good. That can always be your plan B. Worst case scenario.
No,
I look back at my old stuff. I want to delete my old stuff so bad, but I don't.
Yeah, don't do it.
I'm like,
someday it's gonna hit. Just tell yourself that. You're like, it's gonna hit someday.
Right. At least it's a benchmark for me to see how far I've come and proof that practice does help.
And it's stuff that you show your clients and your family. Like, I have my college projects up, and it's so funny because I posted one the other day. I started doing that for Throwback Thursdays. Like, here's a video from college. And usually it's a lot of fun to look at and to poke fun at. Like, I was on Judge Judy about 6 years ago. Ex-girlfriend broke up, big thing. And it's on private because it's CBS and I don't want to offend their copyright law, but I do want to keep the video up, and from time to time I'll share it and I'll show people, you know, and it's kind of embarrassing. I mean, she slammed me kind of across the board and on national TV, but it's funny for me to look at how far I've come physically. I'm in much better shape now. I'm in a very healthy, romantic, passionate marriage versus kind of this thing that I had with this girl. I'm a more professional. You know, it's fun to have these older, embarrassing things to benchmark where you are in life, and that's a big part of it too. Like, don't erase your history. Don't rewrite who you are. Like, embrace it.
Right. Absolutely. No, I like that advice. It works for me. It works for me. See how far we've come. So I want you to share with the audience now, first and foremost, not just how to connect with you, especially if they're interested in that course that you're going to launch, because there's a ton of business owners out there that don't have a clue what they're doing with video. They know it works. They just don't know where to start. And also what offer you have for our audience today. Share that with us, please.
Awesome. So if you'd like to know more about the course, I want you to go to thevideospot.net, and I want you to click on the Work With Us tab. Let me know that you found us on this summit and you'd like some more information. Now, I'll respond to you personally and provide you with some exact links on where you should go. Otherwise, just go to our blog and see what kind of stuff we're talking about. Our website has a lot of great static pages as well on how it works. So that's number one. Number two is check out our ebook, The YouTube Marketing Blueprint. So the easiest way to get that is to go to YouTube, search for Video Spot, and find one of our videos on YouTube marketing, and it's in the link is in the description box. But you can also go to thevideospot.net/YouTube Blueprint and download it there. In that, I give you content directly from the course. It's only a portion. But I give you content from the course that will help you to get started, and that's our free offer. We want people to know that we bring a lot of value, and you'll be able to get started there. You know, I think you'll get your feet wet. But YouTube is a lot more than writing a video and then having a good title. It's about a content plan. It's about a collaboration plan. It's about networking. And a lot of other technical aspects like 720p or 1080i. Like, you know, we teach you how to do that. We just can't do that in an ebook. So if you're interested in the course, you can either contact me directly or get the ebook and start to kind of get a feel for what we do. Once you join my course, you're not allowed to quit. You quit, we bill your card for the rest of your contract. So this is not a course for quitters. It is not a course for, oh, let me dabble, let me see. And to be real transparent, we've never had anybody quit. And that's because before you join, we let you know exactly what to expect from this. We're going to kick your butt. we're gonna require work from you. If you don't get your videos done in time, you're gonna hear from me directly. It's not like my favorite thing to do, but I'm gonna call you and say, where are your videos, man? Like where do you need help? And in some cases, we'll actually bring in alumni and pair you up with alumni to help you, other business owners who have done it. So I've taken what I've learned from the courses that I've been a part of and kind of created my own thing. It might get too expensive. I don't know, like having actual people be involved. But I never wanted to have one of these downloadable courses. I signed up a video marketing guy you've all heard of. I'm not going to mention his name, but I joined his course, and right as you join the course, you get an email that says, "Do not ever try to contact James. Do not ever try to contact this person. Do not ever tag this person." And I was just like, seriously? Like the whole thing was, I get to work in your course and I'm not even allowed to reach out to you. I never wanted to do that. So I try to make myself and my coaches, my partners, as available as we can be. So check those things out. Check us out. Follow our videos because our goal is to teach you to be more comfortable in your own skin and how to create a content plan that works. And I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to know who you are.
I love it. I'll make it really, really easy for everyone, and of course insert the link into this YouTube video, and it will be on the landing page, and that's the beauty of it all. It'll be up there for a while, so don't change the link. It could be years from now. Don't change the link.
Right, I can make the link. I'm like, yeah, YouTube Marketing Blueprint. Go there.
Oh, very cool, very cool. That's awesome. I'm already thinking of which clients I need to send to you.
Or that we can partner on, really, because you're their business coach, you know what I mean? And sometimes they need the help of a business coach. In fact, one client, I work with his business coach because I talked to him and I was like, well, we're going to do 5 videos on investment for young entrepreneurs. He goes, okay. He's all, that has nothing to do with our business. And I said, really? That's not what he told me. He told me he wanted to focus on young entrepreneurs. And he goes, I know. That's why he hired me as his business coach. We want to focus on retired seniors with money, legacy planning. And I'm like, okay, great. So we've restructured his campaign to do that. So it's great to partner with companies and their marketing teams to make sure that we're kind of constructing the right message and then getting that out to the public. Because I'll tell you what, people are looking for your videos. And you've got YouTube, you've got Facebook, Snapchat, mixed feelings on that. But there's another one that's becoming popular as well. Video is in Instagram. Video is in a couple different places, so you want to be there so that your audience finds you.
Absolutely. I love it because I actually will window shop people too, or who I want to work with. If I don't see video, I want to get a vibe of who that person is, especially if you're hiring them. They're the product that you're purchasing, is their service. Yeah. You want to get a feel for that person, and I'm big on that relationship, and the video helps a lot.
Well, you're doing great work, and you know that I believe that. You've been doing great work since I met you, and it's awesome to see how you're just maturing and growing and getting bigger and badder, and it's good to see.
Badder in a good way. And
bad has always meant good. Bad has always meant good. Ever since the 80s, it's meant good.
That's true, thanks to Michael Jackson. And I'm not wearing pants either, so.
Yes.
That's right.
It's just got better.
It's a lifestyle of an entrepreneur. Getting dressed is like, really?
Oh. You're telling me I actually had a collared shirt ready to go, and at the last minute I was like, eh.
No, please don't do that. No stuffiness here.
And it's not stuffy. It's just, it's just like it's what I would wear in my videos. Because I'm not super casual in my videos. But it's just kind of one of those things. I can wear what I want, and I'm comfortable in my Star Wars shirt right now. So you want to be comfortable in your interview, because otherwise you're like, oh, is my fly down? Is the button up? Or is there thread on my shirt? Like, being comfortable is essential. Building your brand, I think, is next. That some people are comfortable in like How I Met Your Mom. Have you ever seen this where he's like, suit up? He's comfortable in a suit. I know lots of guys that are comfortable in collared shirts and jackets and dress shoes. They like it. Awesome. Go with that. Me, not comfortable that way. Like, I threw out all my slacks, almost all my sport coats, because sport coats can still look good over a t-shirt. And sometimes, not offend the audience, a funeral, for example, a wedding, you do need to kind of dress up. So I have a couple of those things on standby, but you're never going to see me with the top button buttoned. You're never going to see me in dress shoes. And even the dress shoes I have are made of foam. So thank you, Skechers, for that. You know what I mean? So even when I need to wear dress shoes, they're made of foam. So
awesome. Very cool. And you're a California kid. I mean, it's all you got to say. It's like flip-flops and hoodies. That's what life's all about out there.
It is. It's our lifestyle, and I like it. If it wasn't for our Gestapo government, this would be a great place to live.
True. Very true. Well, I'm going to wrap up today's call. You've been a wealth of information. I love that all of the golden nuggets you've shed on YouTube video, all those beautiful things. People are going to find you. They're going to be thankful they watched this so they can up-level their business in the right direction as well. So big, big, big thanks to you, even though I'm so sorry I killed your last name.
Nobody. I tell people, I say, "Oh, what's your last name?" I said, "It doesn't matter. You're going to mess it up." So, you know, I'm hoping that when you type Owen into a search engine, eventually my whole thing pops up.
There you go.
It was great to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Bye, guys. Bye for now.